Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to New Hampshire Motor Speedway, where tonight we bring you 150 laps from ECR Elite Championship Racing. This is round 19 from the 2015 season, and we had a couple of technical difficulties. I'm sorry. This is not going to be broadcasting live, but we are broadcasting. We're going to upload the video later so everybody can check out and see our races and everything. So we apologize for that. Qualifying is underway right now, almost over. So I'm going to bring a couple of guys here so we can take a look at the screen, see who's going fast, who's not. Pull right now our top five. Matthew Tunhorse leads the charts with 30.2, and followed by Anthony Titchener, John Schweiker, Ken Worley, and Brian Wilderson. These are your top five right now as the standings for qualifying. Tonight with me in the booth, we have the 43 of John Cuddle. John, did I say your last name right?
Yes, you did.
10-4, but welcome to the booth. Welcome to your first ECR broadcast experience. So I hope you enjoy it. You ran with me last night the ECR Xfinity race here at New Hampshire. Very complicated race, full of accidents, full of different incidents. What do you think these guys that are racing tonight are going to be feeling the most difficulty tonight? Adjusting to the Cup car that it's a lot more powerful? Or do you think the track conditions that is a lot hotter? Right now we have the track conditions of 90 degrees with 116 degrees on the track. Very slick, very hot. You think that's going to be the biggest challenge, trying to adjust? Or do you think that the car being a lot more powerful and the open setups, that's going to bring the biggest challenge to our drivers?
Well, I think these guys are going to be facing a lot of issues tonight. It's close racing. They're going to be all over the place. This track is really slick. But the biggest issue they're going to have is passing. You cannot pass here. It's hard to pass. If they can get around, the guy that can get around everybody, he's going to have the best of the best. I mean, he is going to be hard to beat. But the guy at the back, they are going to be really on top of each other, and they just won't be able to get around as much probably. They're going to be slick. They're going to be sliding all over the place, and it's going to be really fun to watch. I hope there's not too many incidents, but after what we saw yesterday, this track's a lot slicker, and it's just going to be a lot more hectic.
Well, we are surely going to find out this very soon. You can see that our grid is already lining up. We are going to bring to you the final results right away as soon as the cars start to make their way out of the grid and into our pacing lap. We have a very big field today. You see Matthew Tunhorse, who really ended up in the pole, I believe, followed by Anthony, John Schweiker in third, Ken Worley fourth, Brian Wilderson, or Wild Asian, just for those guys expecting to hear us say the name like that. In fifth, AJ Scarborough in sixth. I believe Caleb Thomas filling in the 14th. In seventh, Mark Figueroa in eighth. Stephen Massey 9, Rob Bernstein, Will Prue 11, David Grosclose 12. I believe that is Ron Miller in the 48th, followed by Matt Moritz, Chuck Harrell, Mike Kinner, Douglas Haas, Stephen Hollinsworth. There you go. Sean Madeline in the 73, Kevin Cook in the 45, Justin Bland in the 65, Jeremy Rubin in the 34, and a couple of other drivers still getting their way, following suit. And the pace car is off. So, John, what do you expect for now this start? Do you think the guys are going to be respecting each other very patiently, or do you think guys are going to go, I don't care, I'm going for the front, I'm going to get track position, be in front of everybody else because I don't want to be caught in the mess? What do you think is going to happen?
Oh, definitely. They're all going to try and go to the front. I mean, we saw it yesterday. Everybody was trying to get as much as they get on the restarts because once they spread out, your tires wear down, you're just standing still. These guys are going to probably try and get all they can get, but try not cause any trouble, hopefully.
Well, we're surely going to find out. Matthew Turnhorst apparently choosing the outside lane. He's gonna be, yes, he's gonna bring our field on the outside, followed by Anthony on the inside. The pace car is about to make the turn left. Green flag is out. Matthew jumps in front of everybody, and we're going green here in New Hampshire. A lot of respect in the first turn. Really good job by our drivers. Everybody coming clean out of turn 2, and Anthony already looking on the inside of the number 6, the 87, trying to go to the front. Let's see if he can clear him coming out of the turn 2. Still on the inside, Matthew fighting on the outside, with John Schweiker following suit. Diving to the inside now, Schweiker in the number 1 also diving to the inside of the 6. A lot of battles, like you said, John, starting the race.
That was a really nice move by Anthony to get to the front, though. He kept it clean, got it down low, made it stick, and made the pass.
Yeah, you can see Matthew, he did the right thing. There's no point, we have 150 laps, so there's absolutely no point in trying to fight for that position early in the race. It's going to be something that it will take a lot of patience from our drivers tonight going around this tricky circuit. So let him go, follow along, follow suit. This is not going to be the first one. We have a couple of battles through towards the back of the pack. You can see Doug Rice starting in the back. He ran a Douglas Hess on the 91. Very, very nice Rockwell paint scheme. He's trying to go by David Gross close on the 28. Nick Olson coming by the 65 adjusting plan. So a lot of battling going back and forth in the middle, in the back of the pack. But guys respecting each other very, very well, like we asked them to do. Race controlling, all the league admins. Ask the drivers, give each other room, be patient. Oh, when we have a spinner on the back, Chuck Harris, no, almost. What a save by the 88. Wow. What a save by Chuck Harrow in the 88. Apparently someone touched him on the inside. He almost got loose. Nice job by Chuck.
That was a very nice job. He kept it under control, didn't lose control of the car.
Yeah, that was something that we saw.
Very nice job by Chuck.
That we saw yesterday. We saw a lot of guys self-spinning, pretty much losing control of the cars, trying to be a little bit more aggressive than they could at that time. It's nice to see that early in the race, we see guys being able to control their cars. That just shows that they have their setup dialed in. They have control of the car. Hopefully this is going to make one hell of a race for us tonight. We see a battle now between the 13 of Brian and one of the newcomers to the Cup Series, Ken Worley in the 37. Beautiful, beautiful paint scheme based on Ohio State. Oh, when we have a car in the wall in the front stretch. Let's bring you the replay. Try to identify what happened. Oh, there you go.
It looks like he just got loose coming off the corner. I mean, it's not hard to get loose coming off the corners because you really want to overdrive him. I mean, you're trying to get as much as you can get, and he just looks like he just overdrove it.
Yeah, we see Doug Hess in the 91. He went by the 65 and the 28. He was battling them hard. Took a little bit on the outside of turn 3 and 4. When he gave power to come into the front stretch, ended up losing control. I think he was lucky though, because he didn't hit the front of the car, which is always good. So
yeah, that could have been a lot worse than it actually was, I think.
Yeah, and we see now our leaders coming to pit lane. Let's see. We see the 87, the 6, everybody pitting. Let's keep the camera focused on the exit of pit lane. See who comes out of that first. Everybody taking 4 tires. The 87 jumping in front, followed by the 1, the 6, the 14, the 5, 97, 00, 12, and everybody else following suit. I think a lot of the cars came down on pit road. I'm not sure if anybody stayed out.
Oh, we have 2 cars staying out. I don't know if they're going to come in, but this is going to be really rough for them if they stay out on those old tires.
Yeah, we have the 13 of Brian staying out, Brian Wilderson. He stayed out, followed by the 15 of Stephen Hollins. Or Stephen now making his way to the pits. I believe he saw the number of guys that actually came down on pit road to get fresh tires, and he decided this is not the time to gamble. I'm gonna take my time later. So, but Brian, he's gambling, staying out, getting track position, see if that's gonna pay off for him. Getting that fresh air in front, that clean air. See if the setup deals a little bit better and he can gain a couple positions and drive up front. So,
but boy, is he going to be in the hornet's nest when those cars with fresh tires come around if this plan doesn't hold up.
Yeah, he only have 10 laps on those set of tires, so it's not quite that much. We've seen guys running the official iRacing races this week going 50, 60 laps on a set of tires and still being able to keep the positions, but it's so hot outside the track. It's so warm. I'm going to pull the temperature once again. We have 116 degrees on the track right now, so that is a lot of temperature, and those tires, this is not one of those slick, very slick tracks, so there is a lot of heat being generated between the tires and the hot asphalt. So even though it's 10 laps, he's not going to have the same performance level as these guys that just stopped. But I think if you're going to be pulling a move like that, if you're going to gamble, if you want to see what your car can do on old tires, this is pretty much the perfect position to do it, because it's early in the race. If he falls back, he has more than enough time to settle in, change his strategy, and he's going to have information that most of these other guys don't have. So I don't see a downside, especially if he can keep his car on the track and just keep it going. So we'll see what's going to happen. Everybody, and I believe Doug has made his way back to the track. We're going to check that out for you guys later. But here we go, John. Turn 3 and 4. Brian's going to bring the ECR field back under green. The pace car is going to take the sharp left, and Brian Wilderson restart is go. Green flag's gone, and he just takes quite of a nice jump, followed by Anthony on the 87. The 6 fighting with the 1 of John Schweiker on the outside. Everybody coming out of turn 2 very clean again, a very nice restart by the entire field.
He's doing a very good job of keeping it up front with those old tires. I mean, he's keeping right there with Anthony on the tires. It might be a good strategy to look at it in the race if it comes down to a 10-lap run.
Yeah, like you said in the beginning of the broadcast, it's so hard to pass because it's so slick on the inside, and these guys are coming out of these turns. It's a very sharp turn. It's not that easy to bring the car to the inside. So when you go back on the throttle, there's no way to keep that back end of the car stuck to the ground. You're going to spin the tires a little bit. So that might be a very good move, a very good strategy. And he's been out there for 2 laps. Now the guys started to make their way, trying to do side by side. But like you said in the beginning, it's very hard to pass. So a strategy like that, no tires staying out, or even 2 tires, depending on the situation, depending on how late the run's going to be, that might be a strategy that these guys are going to start studying to see if they can pull it off. Oh, when Anthony gets loose coming out of the turn. But we do have a caution someplace else. We do have a caution. Let's try to bring the replay. Oh, he was between the 15, the 28, and the 34. So here we go, we found it. David Gross close coming out at 2. The 15 of Stephen Hollingsworth trying to go to the inside. A little bit of contact. And a lot of damage for the 28. And a couple more guys got caught into that, including the 34 of Jeremy Rubin. So tough break for those guys. Yeah, like we said, Doug has getting the lap back. He was a lap down, so he's probably going to be back in the lead lap, or at least getting a lap back. Right now, let's go through the field, John, just to situate everybody who is where, running where. Brian Wilderson in the 13 leads the field. Anthony Titchener in second. John Schweiker third. Matthew Turnhorst in fourth. AJ Scarborough in fifth. Caleb Thomas sixth. Stephen Massey seventh. Mark Figueroa 8. Ken Worley 9. Rob Burns 10th. Ron Miller 11. Will Prue 12. Sean Medley 13. Justin Bland 14. Stephen Hollingsworth after that contact still in 15. Nick Olson 16. Matt Moritz in 17. Kevin Cook in 18. Mike Kinder in 19. And Joshua Wallace closing up the top 20. Doug Hess in the 21st. Matt Hibbs lost a lap in 22nd. Chuck Harrow 23rd. And Jeremy Rubin appears to be retired on my screen. So hopefully he can fix the car and is able to rejoin the field. Let's see if he's still on the track or if he made his way towards the garage. Yeah, I cannot pick him up here, so he's probably behind the wall trying to get that car fixed. Hopefully he can rejoin the field later on, and we're not going to have a problem. Tough break for those guys. Tough break for those guys, but like we said on the pre-race meeting, very tight track. Very difficult to run side by side, and if you don't give guys a little bit of a slack, a little bit of room, that's just going to happen. Contact is going to happen, and that's something that we didn't hope to see, but is not unexpected.
It's racing, man. When they get out here, they want to get everything they can get as early as they can get. I mean, it's driver's mindset. They want to go at it, but you also got to think of the consequences. I mean, but hopefully these guys are going to have a really nice race at the end.
Yeah, I like the general racing so far. Everybody trying to keep their cars clean, trying to make their way through the field, through the turns without crowding up everybody. So hopefully we're not going to have a lot of problems moving forward. Still very early in the race, only 18 laps completed, and we already saw a couple of very strong guys being taken out. But race start is about to go green. Brian Wilderson in the 13 again leading the field. And he has another very solid restart. Those old tires don't seem to be bothering him at all, jumping back into speed.
Oh, it's getting tight right behind Anthony.
Again, everybody coming clean out of turn 2. But like the previous 2 restarts, the one of John Schweiker and the 6 of Matthew Turnhorst going door to door. Now John is able to clear a little bit from Matthew. And something happened again. So let's try to figure out for you guys what happened. Oh, we're back in the pack. We are ready. I believe it was with the 73 of Sean Medley. Guys got together coming out of the turn. Oh, and the 48 taps him in the back. The 73 goes around, but a very good car control from Sean, keeping the car out of the wall, still going forward. Doesn't appear to have a lot of damage, so nice save by the 73.
Very nice save. When he came into the corner, it was very simple. Hey, we all made it. We saw it happen yesterday. Trying to get the pass. You have to let off the gas a little bit in the middle of the corner. You come off. The guy behind you. I mean, everything just stacks up. Bad situation.
Yeah, it happened exactly like we were discussing in pre-race. So this is a very tight track. Not always you're going to be able to get enough room to brake or to make your way through the turn. So sometimes you need a little bit more room, and if you're running side by side, door to door, bumper to bumper, sometimes you just run out of space. Not that easy to keep the car clean, not be able to check up. So just want to give a shout out to Ken Worley on the number 37, making his debut tonight. He's been keeping his car very clean. Very proud Ohio State fan. Bringing a little bit of a college paint scheme back. We had a college paint scheme early in this year in Las Vegas. So very nice paint schemes. Very nice cars. He has right behind him one of our drivers who's already qualified for the chase, Mark Figueroa. Mark has 2 wins in the season, and every time that you see the 00 just lurking around, taking his time, making sure that he stays out of trouble, it's a sign that he's going to be there in the end. Mark is one of the most consistent drivers on the ECR field, and I'm pretty sure he has something up his sleeve, especially when he has a lot of his teammates. He has Will Prue right behind him, one of his teammates at Classics Motorsports, and Ken Worley, another one just signed with Classic, and right in front of him, the 97 of Stephen Massey. So you see the Classic Motorsports freight train in the middle of the pack. Pretty sure they're talking, they're strategizing, making sure that they be in the best position to get to the end of the race. So, John, so far, 23 laps. What caught your eye? What is the biggest takeaway of the race so far for you? The competition, the fact that everybody's trying to respect each other, or just the racing side by side and how they're being able to keep their cars together? What do you think?
Well, these guys are doing a really good job. They're side by side. I mean, we didn't see much. We tried it yesterday. We had a lot of trouble racing side by side because, I mean, it was really hard to control the cars. These guys come out here in a more horsepower. They're racing side by side like it's nothing. I mean, it's quite incredible.
Yeah, a lot of work goes on into building those setups, making sure that they can keep control of the cars. Restart is about to go green. Brian Wilderson bringing the field back. A restart, and another great jump by Brian on the outside, clearing 2 car lengths on the 87, the 6, and the number 1 going into turn 1. And again, John Schweiker and Matthew Turnhorst side by side, coming out to turn 3 and 4.
Right now, if I'm a 13 car out front, I'm talking to my teammates, telling them, "Hey, we get a short run at the end. Don't go in. Take no tires."
Yeah, if it's working for him, if they're working on the same setup, that's probably going to be the benchmark for the entire team going forward. So now Anthony moving on the inside out on turn 3. He has to pull back, trying to keep the line, trying to come through out of turn 3 and 4. Yeah, one guy is starting to make his way through the field. is the number 15 of Stephen Hollingsworth. Stephen was forced to start in the back because he didn't complete the qualifying laps, the necessary qualifying laps in practice. But he's a very, very fast driver in the number 15, already a winner this season. Actually, he's one of those drivers that won in all 3 series. So we know that he's pretty fast, and he's starting to make his way through the field. Another guy that's been able to keep his car clean so far is the 25 of Nick Olsen. Nick's been working very hard on both the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series, trying to get to that point where he can be consistent and fast at the same time, getting better finishes. So very nice run for him so far. Very laying low, making sure that he's out of trouble, keeping his car clean, aiming for the latter part of the race to be there at the end. And he has Ron Miller right behind him on the 48 and Kevin Cook on the 45, another guy that's starting in the back.
And now we're starting to see these guys that started at the back that didn't get a chance to qualify or anything. They're starting to move up through the field. It's going to be a good race when it comes time to end, because we're going to have everybody's going to be settled in near the end. This is going to be an exciting race, I think.
Yeah, we're starting to see up front, Brian Wilson's been able to keep the 87 in check, but right behind him, the number 1, the 6, the 14, and the 5, they're starting to get together and form one very big pack. There's not a lot of room between all those guys. Very, very close racing up to this point. I don't think any of these guys has enough room to make a mistake and still keep their position. So very, very critical to hit their marks, making sure that they can keep their cars exactly where they want, so they're able to brake, they're able to go through the turns and still keep their momentum going, because this is so important in a track like New Hampshire, that it's a momentum track. This is not a super speedway. This is not one of those places where you can just power and go and control into the turns because you're just sucking up in the draft. This is, if you miss the braking point, if you miss your entry, you're not going to be fast. You're not going to be able to be there at the end.
Most definitely. I mean, if these guys don't keep these cars under control, don't hit the marks, it's going to be very bad. I mean, they're going to end up in a wall. They're going to end up in the back of somebody. You just have to make sure you keep your pace. You got to watch the guy in front of you. You got to watch the guy behind you. Your eyes are never sitting still.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how the tires on this number 13 are going to behave. We're going 33 laps right now, so I'm pretty sure those tires are about to start running out. He's probably already feeling it. Going into the tires, already taking a little bit of a wider angle coming out of the turns. So let's see if he's going to be able to keep that 87 and that one car right behind him for much longer. If he does, that just shows that he has an awesome setup underneath that 13 car.
The good part is he stayed out. If another caution comes out, even if he moves down to third, I mean, he got in the track position. He doesn't lose much track position. If another caution does come out, he can pit, and he stays up near the front. He doesn't have to make up more track position. So it's a really good strategy he's got going.
No, the strategy already paid, I think, more dividends than he thought at the beginning of this run. And I'm pretty sure that every time that you stayed out and you have all the leaders that were in front of you pitting and they're restarting right behind you, you don't have enough of that cushion of more cars that stayed out. You always assume that, oh, these guys are probably going to be a little bit faster than I am. So if I lose a couple of positions, that's still fine. And we have a caution. Like we said, John, if he gets the caution, that changes completely, because most of these guys are probably going to be coming back in the pits. Let's see if we can find what happened.
Oh, there's like a little contact between the 83 and 17. There's a little 17 got spun.
All right, let's look for those guys.
On lap 34.
I apologize, guys, for the delay to find everything. But here we go. The 17 and the 83 are running side by side. Joshua Wallace and Will Prue. This is going to happen a lot further down. I have to back it up on the replay so that everybody could see it. John, if you can, keep an eye on the pits. See who's pitting, who's not. And here we go. The 17 just gets loose. He tries to correct, and the 83 just came right out of the turn. No room for him to go. Such a shame. Ended up hitting the 17 car. So here we go. Everybody pitting. Let's see who comes out first. The 1 car of John Schweikert coming out first, followed by the 13, the 87, the 14, the 5. Oh, and a lot of guys coming together at the end of the pits. Did he just take 2 tires, John?
I think he did. It looks like he did.
Whoa, and something happened to the 13 car. He's very, very slow coming out of the pits. Let's see if we can tell what happened. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. If you can have the audio from the track, from race controller, if you can tell us why the 13 is going so slow. He was one of our leaders, the 13, O'Brien Wilderson.
It looks like he might have had a speeding penalty.
Ooh.
I'm not saying that's what it is, but I think he had a speeding penalty.
Forced to drop to the rear, probably. If that is the case, all of that hard work just came tumbling down.
That's going to be a hard hit to come back from. But he's got a strong car. He can do it.
Well, he pulled it off once. Pretty sure if like you said, he has a pretty strong car. Got a pretty consistent car because he was out there on old tires for almost 40 laps. So we know that he can stay out and still be competitive. So depending on what happens the next set of pit stops, he might be right back towards the front. You never know. So with that happening and apparently taking 2 tires, we're going to talk to John Schweikert after the race, probably see if that was the call. John Schweikert, number 1, leading the field, followed by Anthony Titchener, Caleb Thomas, AJ Scarborough, and Matthew Turnhorst closing out the top 5. You can see Mark Figueroa in 6th place, Justin Bland 7th, Ken Worley 8th, Nick Olson 9th, and Will Prue rounding up the top 10. Cars are starting to move towards the different positions. Guys falling a little bit towards the rear. New guys coming to the front. A lot of different things shaping up for this restart, for this second part of the race, if I can say so. But the cars are aligned. John Schweikert leading the field. The pace car goes back, and we are going to go back under green. Schweikert takes the green flag. We see side-by-side racing by the 6 and the 37. Mark Figueroa already making his way towards the top 5. He went by Matthew.
I like to talk about that 25 car. I mean, he started at the back, if I recall right, and he's already moved up a good bit, more than halfway through the field. He's making his way to the front.
Yeah, like we said, the 25 of Nick Olson now right behind his teammate and one of his cars because he is the team owner. Right behind the 6 of Matthew Turnhorst. Nick Olson up to 8th place right now. Like we said, we called a little bit before, making sure that he was trying to get out of trouble, keeping his car clean, just having a very consistent race, and up until now, and we don't want to jinx Nick, but up until now, doing a very, very, very strong race. So hopefully he can keep that up, can continue to gain positions, and be fighting for that top 5 by the end of the race. So. Yeah, another guy that we haven't mentioned yet, because he hasn't been around for practice, got back in the car right before the race, and just keeping the car in the race is the 65 of Justin Bland. Justin, one of the fastest drivers that we have, very aggressive, being able to go very, very fast in 1-2 laps. Very consistent drive so far, and we call his name and he loses control of the car, hits the wall. But still keeping that car together, moving forward. John, I'm not going to call anybody out. I'm not going to say that anybody else is having a great race, because apparently if I do it, I'm going to jinx them. So,
Whoa, that was a bad sentence.
yeah. Let's just call the race the way it is. So. Yeah, we see up front the number 1 of John Schweiker and the 87 of Anthony starting to move away a little bit ahead of Caleb Thomas in the 14 and AJ in the 4th. So putting a little bit of a cushion between themselves and the rest of the chase group. Yeah, for the first time, John, I think we can say that this group of drivers has spread out a little bit, with the exception of the back of the pack, where we have the 45 of Kevin Cook, the 97 of Stephen Massey, and the 13 of Brian Wilderson already making his way through the pack, fighting side by side. Very, very hard driving by all those guys.
Oh yeah, it's like the Hornet test back there. I mean, they're trying to get everything they can get to get by guys that are maybe a little bit slower. Maybe these guys are a little bit faster, trying to keep up with them. These guys back here at the back are just having to work really hard.
Yeah, people complain sometimes that we don't show the real racing that goes on in the middle of the back of the pack. Here we are, guys. This is where the battle is. Oh, Captain Cook just hit the wall coming out of the turn. Something happens with the 45. He lost a little bit of momentum, apparently. Let's see if that... Oh, you can see the right front of the car a little caved in. Hopefully he's not going to have a lot of damage on that 45. That will jeopardize his race. He's been having a pretty good race so far.
One thing we learned yesterday is when you come off, you're coming off so close to the wall, all you got to do is move the steering wheel just a little bit, and you're right in the wall down in the middle of the front straightaway, and you're just sitting there screaming at yourself. But we've all done it. I mean, he'll rebound from it. It's not much of a bad injury, so.
Yeah, running here in the back of the pack, making sure that he's keeping his car clean. The 74 of Michael Kinner. Michael, normally he does broadcasts from inside his car. So just to give a little bit of a taste to those guys that want to see how it is to drive from the inside of one of these guys, one of these cars here in New Hampshire, we're going to go inside Michael Kinner's car, the number 74. Coming into turn 3 and 4, hard brake, letting the car follow the turn, pointing out to the exit, and then smoothly coming back towards the gas, so there's no problem. The same thing towards turn 1 and 2.
One thing I have noticed about the way he runs is he runs a little bit lower. He's running a little bit lower to everybody in the middle when he's coming up in the entrance.
Yeah, he's using that inside of the turn just a little bit towards the inside, just to point his car in the right direction, making sure that the car is where he wants, so he can come back in the throttle and not spin out, pointing that car towards the outside wall and not being too close with that outside wall. So very nice job by the 74 of Michael Kinner. And we wanted to bring up Michael Kinner because he's one of our drivers that runs not only for fun and sponsorships that we have right now for teams, but Michael's one of the drivers that carries out one of the most important flags that we have right now, and we want to give a big shout out to him. As you can see on the bottom of our screen here, this is something that ECR is going to start be more and more active with, and Michael is one of the premier band carriers of this flag against autism awareness. So he's one of the guys that has a personal situation, a family member that is autistic. So every time that we have a chance, we bring this up, make sure that everybody that can help spread out the word is doing it. So we're going to keep these better in every broadcast that we do, and we're probably going to have in a couple of weeks a dedicated week and a dedicated race toward this particular goal. So hopefully you guys can help us share the word, make sure that everybody takes care of this and help spread out the word for autism awareness. So very nice job by Michael, doing a pretty good job right now in the race, keeping his car clean, making sure that he's there by the end of the race.
It looks like everybody's getting a little bit spread out, getting comfortable, racing their own race now.
Yeah, we see John Schweiker putting a little bit of a room between him and Anthony. He has almost a second between him and the 87. Caleb Thomas is in third place, about 3 seconds back of the leader, followed by AJ in fourth and Matthew in fifth. Pretty much the same distance between them all. So I want to give a big shout out for Caleb for jumping into 14. For me, that's the car that I normally run, but because of ECR rules, I'm not going to be able to run tonight. So big shout out for Caleb for jumping into 14 and keeping that car very clean, very, very nice paint scheme, and keeping the 14 up front, hopefully until the end of the race. So
Yeah, he's up there running a really good race tonight. Maybe at the end he can come on and bring you a win.
yeah, one of the battles that we have going on right now, John, is between the 6 of Matthew Tunhorse and the 37 of Ken Worley. They're two of the guys that have been running very close in this top 5, top 10 area of the race.
Oh yeah, they're right on top of each other, but it's just so hard to, like we said at the beginning of the broadcast, it's so hard to pass here. I mean, even if you get to your back bumper, if you go too low, you lose your momentum. If you stay right with him, there's a chance you push him up the track. I mean, it's just really hard for him to get around him. I mean, I imagine he's pulled up to his back bumper quite a few times.
Yeah, we're going with the camera right on the back bumper, on the gearbox of Matthew, and you can see the 37 of Ken Worley. He gets very, very close every time that they brake, and you can see how close to the ground these cars are running, trying to get the most out of that aerodynamic package that they have available. So very, very nice angle, very nice shot for everybody to see. And now we're going right in the front of Ken's car, seeing how close he is to that back bumper of the number 6.
A little bit closer than I want to be. Woo!
Yeah. Well, apparently the number 5 of AJ is having a little bit of connection issues. He jumped a couple times. Apparently all good. Back. Oh, there he goes, blinking. couple times. Hopefully that's not going to be a problem, and he is now forced to pull in and let other guys drive. But he lost a lot of space. He was right up front together with Caleb, and I think he's just letting these guys go because he says there's a problem with his connection, which is a tough break for this number 5.
Hopefully he can get it fixed and get back in the race before he loses a lap, or hopefully he doesn't lose too many laps for it.
Yeah, you were dealing with this issue last week during the race, so it's something that we cannot control. That's part of online racing. We are bound by technology, and we are sometimes casualties of internet connection. Sometimes the service just drops and we are left hanging without being able to race, or like in this case, having a very good race quote unquote ruined by a connection issue. So hopefully he can get that thing stabilized and doesn't lose a lot of positions or even laps depending on what happens. So
yeah, that's the biggest issue is when having it on internet is connection issues. I mean, it happened to me. It happens to a lot of guys.
Oh, John, remember one thing, and I apologize for that. Remember when we said that depending on what happened, we were probably going to see Brian Wilderson back into the top 10? Well, he is in 9th place already, showing that stint that he had when he stayed out and led a bunch of laps, was fighting with the 1 and the 87, that was no fluke. He fell all the way to 24th during this restart, and he's already cracked the top 10, coming back to fight for the lead once again. So that number 13, pretty strong car up to this point.
Well, our second place car just hit the wall in turn 3 on lap 67.
What car? I'm sorry?
The 87 car, Anthony, our second place car, just hit the wall in turn 3 on lap 66.
Well, let's try to find Anthony here in our ticker. See if there was any damage to that car. Oh, you can see the right front of that car. Heavy damaged.
I'm taking a look at his lap times now. He looks like he's took a lot. It looks like he's done a little bit of damage. Hurt his lap times a little bit. He was running a little bit higher. I don't know if he just got loose running that higher line than he was. Maybe his tires wore out a little bit. Hopefully he can come back from that.
Yeah, we have the camera on his right front wheel. You can see that sheet metal, a lot of damage, almost pressing against that wheel. Hopefully he's not going to have, if that was in real life, that tire would have been gone, because that amount of metal rubbing against the tire, that tire was going to be flat in a matter of instance. So hopefully, this being iRacing, we don't have that issue, we don't have that problem. So, but he has a lot of damage. But I don't think that's affecting his lap times too much. From what I can tell right now, he's still being able to run pretty consecutive laps in the 31.5, 31.4 range. That at this point, with this amount of tire wear, that's pretty consistent. And we're back with our leader, John Schweiker, in the number 1. That car still very clean, didn't hit anything, didn't hit the wall, still running laps pretty well.
He's doing a good job keeping it out front, keeping the car clean, not getting in any trouble. He making sure he can make the pass on cars he's fixing a lap before he goes up under them. Real good job of keeping that car clean today.
Yeah, we're gonna have to start monitoring to see if the 14 of Caleb Thomas starts to make ground on the 87 of Anthony. Because if he does, he starts to gain a little bit of time. That might be a sign that either Anthony's tires are down and he just used those tires way too much, or that front damage is really starting to make a dent on his time lapse. So
either way, it's going to be a hard call because, I mean, this is the longest run we've had tonight. That damage could be a little bit of it. Tires could be a little bit of it. I mean, it could be either way.
Yeah, another driver that already cracked the top 10 coming from the back, the 15 of Stephen Hollingsworth. We talked about him early in the broadcast, that he was forced to start in the back. Had a little bit of contact with the other drivers, but now is starting to make his way towards the front, already cracking the top 10. And another guy that is making his way up the front, the 73 of Sean Medlin. He started in the back. He didn't qualify, and he's already in 6th place, running a pretty strong pace. I think he's one of those drivers that started this long run very smooth, very conservative, and I think now he's in a better position just because of his tires being a little bit fresher. He just went by AJ in the number 5, and they're going through lap traffic. Let's try to assess where this caution was. I cannot find it, John. Do you know what it is?
User in your channel timed out.
Who's having a little bit of bike issues, I think.
Yeah, no, I think our entire team speak actually went down. So I couldn't find the caution, so we're keeping it with our leaders coming into the pits. Let's see if we can find out later what happened. But this brings everybody towards the pits. The 1, the 87, the 14, the 6, the 37. Everybody coming in for fresh tires after that very long green lap run.
Now, here's the good part. What do? Do you take 4? Do you take 2? Do you take... Who stays out?
Oh, I would stake 4 tires right about now. And Caleb Thomas, I think he took 2 tires. He jumps up in front.
That's very good stop.
Yeah, I think he took 2 tires. Yeah, Anthony stayed in the pits trying to fix a little bit of that damage. Apparently they did. It looks a little bit better. He lost a lot of positions. He's now in 7th. But he had to do that. If he wanted to keep his chances of fighting for the win in the end, that was the time. Well, so here we go. Caleb Thomas coming out of the pits first. John Schweiker second. Matthew Turnhorst, very good pit stop, putting him in 3rd place, followed by Ken Worley and Sean Medlin claiming the top 5, cracking the top 5 for the first time. Brian Wilson already back in 6th place. Anthony, like we said, fell to 7th. Stephen Massey 8th. Mark Figueroa 9th. AJ Scarborough is still holding up to the top 10. Kevin Cook is 11. Nick Olson 12. Will Prue 13. Rob Burns 14. Justin Bland, 15. Stephen Hollingsworth. He fell down all the way to 16. He might be involved in that late caution that we couldn't find. Joshua Wallace 17. Ron Miller 18. Michael Kidder 19. And Matthew Hibbs rounding up the top 20. So, well, if Caleb took 2 tires, John, now we're going to see if that was something that was happening only with Brian's car because of the setup, or if really taking 2 tires might not be a bad move. So the difference was Brian had 20-something laps on his tire, 10-something laps on his tires when he stayed out. Now Caleb, if he took 2 tires, they were at least 40 laps on those tires. Let's see how they hold up in this restart.
It's gonna be a hard call.
Yeah, he's gonna have the jump on the restart, which is very, very good for him. So let's see how he can hold it up. He's on the outside, and he's gone. Get a big cushion on the 1 of John Schweiker in the 37, getting the 3rd position. That's something that we need to keep our eye on, because if he's not that as fast as the 1, as the 37, as the 6, how big of a bottleneck he's going to create on this field, making everybody run very, very close, and how dangerous that situation is going to end up being. So,
Very much. I mean, these guys are used to running their pace up front, and then this guy, Caleb up here, he's got 2 tires. I mean, it might not pay off. I mean, because you got one side that's wore out, one side that's not wore out. It kind of mix and match, especially that long run. It just seems like it might not pay off, but we'll see here. Hopefully it does. I hope for him it does.
yeah, let's see. Let's keep an eye on him. We're going to keep with our leaders right now because everybody's still very much. But oh, the 87 hits the outside wall again. Wow. What a hard lick by Anthony on that already damaged right front wheel. You can see John Schweiker really starting to put a pressure on Caleb Thomas. And he's bringing Ken Worley with him. And who's bringing the 6? So Matthew Turnhorst with him. And who's bringing Brian Wilderson in the 13. Once again, guys, we apologize. We're having some TeamSpeak issues. Could not connect back to everybody. Hopefully the moment we have everything back online, we're going to have John back with us. But right now, you guys can see John Schweiker really putting the pressure on Caleb Thomas. Caleb doing everything that he can to keep the one behind him. That's how close the one is. Now Schweiker trying to the inside, out of turn 4. Getting very, very, very close. Both drivers doing a really good job keeping their distance, making sure that they have enough room. Yeah, one guy that must be loving this is Ken Worley on the 37 because he can run a little bit of an easier line, doesn't have to be pressuring all that time, and he's just lurking. If they get together, the 1 and the 14, he's going to get the lead. He has a little bit of a cushion between him and the 6 of Matthew Tunhorse. So hey, John, got a copy, buddy?
Oh yeah.
All right, we're back. TeamSpeak is back.
Oh, I just saw the one of John get into the back of the 14 a little bit there.
Yeah, he's starting to put a lot of pressure on the 14, getting very, very close at the end of both front and back straight. So, but he's doing a good job of pulling back, not going all the way in, and not pushing the 14 going into the turn, so the 14 doesn't get loose. Both drivers doing an awesome job. One holding his line, making sure that he's running consistent lines, and the other one making sure that he has enough room to brake and keeping his car clean, making sure that both guys continue to go through and be there at the end.
I think John's just letting him know he's there, that make sure that, trying to tell him, hey, I'm here, I want to get past you, but Caleb's not letting me pass though.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that the one has a faster car right now because of the 4 tires and because he was on the lead, so just a little bit of a faster car, but strategy is always, and we said it from the beginning of the broadcast, you pointed out before we even got going that passing here is very, very hard, especially if the guy in front of you don't make mistakes. If the guy in front of you is keeping his line, is driving clean, hit his marks, is very, very hard to pass. We saw that with Anthony trying to pass Ryan early in the race, and we're seeing now with John trying to pass the 14 of Caleb. He might have a faster car, he might have better tires, but he just cannot get fast enough out of those turns without spinning, and he cannot get way too low. We have a spinner. Brian Wilderson did 13 going around, and we have a caution.
Oh, that's got to be heartbreaking right there, man.
Yeah, he was inside the number 6, trying to pass, like we said, on the bottom. Tried to hit the gas. I think they touched a little bit, but goes around. Not a lot of damage on his car, so I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to rejoin the race without a problem.
Oh, I had that happen to me many times yesterday. I mean, you want to get it past the guy, you try and push the issue a little bit. I did it multiple times, and it ended up, well, backwards on the track.
Yeah, let's see if the leaders are going to pit. We're going into 92 laps of 150. So depending on what happened, if they pit now, and apparently everybody's going to do it, yeah, they're... Oh no, Caleb, pull out! Everybody stayed in. He pulled out. Let's see if someone else is going to be pulling out as well, or if he's going to be a sitting duck.
That's probably the best thing. He wants to see a few cars between him and the car with new tires.
Yeah, John, but I think he's going to be by himself with old tires because everybody else came to the pits. The 6, the 87, the 1, the 13, the 45, everybody back here. We have Justin Bland coming out of the pits. He probably took 2 tires. Everybody following suit. Wow, what a decision by Caleb Thomas. I don't know if he was going to bring a lot of guys with them, but I don't know, John. I don't know. I would have
no
bid
idea.
it. I would have bid it. If it was me, I would have bid it. And if I was going to gamble, I was going to gamble on staying out from here on out, trying to keep the position. But with these many cars and without a buffer between you and the guys that were running right behind you, I don't know. Now we're going to see how good those tires are. If he was wearing them out too early, if the tires can hold up. Now we're going to have the definite answer on what happens to a tire, to a car that's on the track for 30, 40 laps. We'll see. We'll see. Well, one good point. He has a teammate right behind him, the 65 of Justin Bland. And he also have the 6 of Matthew Turnhorst between him and John Schweikert, who was right behind him. So that might alleviate a little bit of the pressure that he was feeling. Unless these guys now just decided it's time to go to the front. Apparently that's what Justin did, taking apparently 2 tires. So
Yeah, I would at least went with the two. I would have at least went into pits and changed my other side of tires. But that's just me.
yeah, like staying out completely like that, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It might be the winning strategy. We never know, but at least we can say it was a risky one.
But I think this is go time. I think this is when everybody gets on the wheel and tightens their seatbelts and goes.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to have such a soft restart like we had the past couple ones. I think their guys are going to try to fight a lot harder for position. So the pace car is coming out of turn 4. He's making his way to the pits. Caleb Thomas. I think he spun a little bit of the tires. He didn't get quite that jump, but still a very good jump. And he's bringing the one of Schweiker on the outside. So the cushion that we talked about might be gone in less than a turn. Yeah, the one goes by the 65 on the outside. And now we're going to see fresh tires on the 1, very worn tires on the 14. Look at the difference of the speed coming out of the turn 4. Schweiker diving to the inside, trying to get advantage out of those fresh tires. Caleb holding him off on the outside. Justin got a little bit loose. We see Anthony bouncing back in 3rd place already.
I think he got him.
Yeah, I think the one cleared him. Yes, he did.
Oh, he's going to try crossover. It didn't stick.
Yeah, very nice pass using those fresh tires by the number 1. But Caleb's holding on. I think he's holding on better than I thought he was going to be. Let's see Anthony coming behind him. Even with a damaged car, he still has a pretty fast setup. Let's see if Caleb's going to be able to hold him off, stay between him and the 1, or if those tires are going to start to make his life a living hell. Oh, and we had a caution. Another one.
Was there a water bottle on track? I can't see it. Caution. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, we found it with the 12 of Rob Burns. We're going all the way back. John, if you can, please, while we're showing the replay to everybody, keep an eye on the track. See if that number 14 is going to pit. As we're showing the number 12 of Rob Burns, he has the 74 of Michael Kinner on the inside, the 25 of Nick Olsen to the outside. Let's see what happens here. Oh, he gets loose coming back on the throttle, cuts in front of the 74, who amazingly didn't hit him apparently, being able to keep his car going. And the 12 is back on the pits. With everybody else on the track. Well, no takers on pit lane. The 14 keeping his second position.
Very gutsy move.
Well, he gambled before, so going back into the pits now, if no one else is going, makes sense because otherwise he's just going to be throwing that track position away. So he's already in it. So he made his choice. He's going to stay out as long as he can. Or at least we have 50 laps to go, 49 now. So he's definitely especially based on fuel. He will need another stop. So hopefully for him, I think he might be counting on a strategy, maybe getting a late caution that it will bring everybody to the pits and he can recycle back and be in the same cycle as everybody else. But right now he cannot pit. He needs to stay out. Otherwise he probably is going to throw the possibility of a win out the window.
Very much. But like you said, ill-timed caution can change everybody's game plan.
Yeah, right now our top 5, John Schweiker in the number 1, followed by Caleb Thomas in the 14, Anthony Titchener on the 87, Justin Bland in the 65, and Ken Worley on the 37, your top 5. Matthew Tunhorse in 6, Sean Medley in 7, Stephen Massey 8th, Mark Figueroa in 9th, and AJ Scarborough in 10th place, still holding on. Apparently he was able to clear all those connection issues, and he's back in the race without a problem. Kevin Cook in 11, Will Prue 12, Joshua Wallace 13, Brian Wilderson after that spin fell back to 14th, Nick Olson 15, Michael Kindner 16, Matt Moritz 17, Ron Miller 18, Matthew Hibbs 19, and Rob Burns in 20th place. He apparently was able to fix the damage that he had, and he's back on the track. John, if you are the 14, do you try to time this restart so you can get a jump on the one and try to battle for that position in turn 1, or you take it easy, make sure that you save your car, hold for that late flag, and recycle? What would you do?
That's a tough decision, but me, I'm a little bit more of an aggressive driver, so I want to get out in front of one, even just so I don't get past more. But that's all depending on the situation. Right now, it's probably going to be saving tires.
Well, we'll see what happens. The one's going to have the choice where they can go. Let's see if he gets a jump. He does. The 14 spins the tires on the inside.
Oh, contact between 14 to 6. Oh, just stepped up in the back.
Yeah, very good restart by Schweiker in the number 1. Followed now by Anthony. Here we go. Oh, John Schweiker is leading. Anthony Titchener in 2nd place, followed by Justin Bland. Still the 14 of Caleb Thomas, holding up to 4th ahead of Ken Worley. I think the driver that took the short end of that stick was Matthew Turnhorse on that restart, because he got stuck behind the 14 coming out of turn 2. Oh, here we go.
Oh, that's a pretty good size wreck.
Yeah, we see Matthew Turnhorse on the outside, Sean Medling on the inside. Sean dives to the inside. They touch. Oh, and then everybody gets together. A lot of good guys involved. Ooh. Well, let's watch that again. I want to go to the inside of Mark's car. He sees the touch. Oh. And then they have no room to go. Unfortunately, everybody gets together. Let's go all the way back to the beginning of the lap. We see the 6 and the 73. They made a little bit of contact. And then Mark is already committed to the turn. He has no space when Sean tries to come back. Then everybody gets collected. Ooh, a tough break for a lot of our drivers.
Not many times you want to hear your spotter say 3 wide in the corner. Woo!
Yeah, that was definitely not a good thing. Well, now we have a reversal of the chances because the number 1 apparently stayed out. Everybody else came to pit road, so he stayed out with Kevin Cook. Apparently Nick Olsen also stayed out. He's in 3rd apparently now. Let's see as they go by the front straight and our ticker resets. Exactly, so Nick Olsen is in 3rd. Anthony Titchener, the first guy out of the pits, in 4th, followed by Ken Worley. There you go, John. Another strategy turn that we might not have foreseen. Now you have the one who apparently has been the fastest guy together with the 87, with the 14, the 13. But he's on used tires, and everybody else, with the exception of Kevin Cook on the 45 and Nick Olsen on the 25, everybody else on new tires. Do you think he might have a problem with these guys coming? Or do you think even on used tires he can pull the same thing that Brian did in the beginning of the race and keep everybody at bay?
Well, he's about in the same area that Brian was when he was staying out. He had a fast car. The only difference is his car as good as Brian's on the longer run on older tires. That's going to be a deciding factor in whether he does the same thing that Brian did.
Yeah, and a guy that pulled a very brave move, Kevin Cook on the 45. He was on the back, running very, very, let's say, a safe race up to this point. But with 40 to go, I think he's one of those guys that thought, you know what? Now is the time that if I'm going to pull something out of my hat, this is the time I'm going to stay out, try to battle for track position, see what I can come up with. And he has the 25 of Nick Olsen right behind him in 3rd place. So Nick having avoided that big wreck, that big mess, and he finds himself now in 3rd. Let's see what happened. Well, apparently in the back of the pack, something went wrong with Mark Figueroa's car. I don't know if he got an EOL or something happens. He fell all the way to the back. As we go green again, John Schweiker leading everybody. And you see Anthony Titchener already trying to go by Kevin Cook. And Anthony's clear into 2nd place. Nick and Kevin battling out for 3rd. They're ahead of Caleb in the 14 and Ken Worley on the 37. Oh, Kevin springs a little bit to the outside.
3 wide. Behind them.
Oh, you can see the battle between the 45, the 37, the 25, the 14. And now Stephen Massey on the 97, trying to join the party, going to the inside of Caleb in the 14.
Less than 40 laps to go. I mean, it's get what you can get now.
Yeah, now it's go time. Now all these restarts, they're going to be very, very complex and very dangerous. You need to be aggressive because you never know when you're going to have another chance, especially if this thing goes green. So get what you can, be as aggressive as you can, try to move up, because this might be your last chance.
Speaking of that battle we was talking about between the 45, the 25, the 14, 97, and 37, the 13's coming back up into it.
Yeah, you have the 14 of Caleb trying to move to the inside of Nick, followed by Stephen Masson. Right behind them, the 13 of Brian Wilderson, already back in the top 10, proving that he has one hell of a car, a great setup. And if this thing goes green, depending on cautions and restarts, he might actually be there at the end. So let's see what happens. Right now, the 14 of Caleb Thomas trying to go by the 25 of Nick Olson, doing his best race so far. Not going to jinx Nick. Going to hit in the wall here. So nothing happens, but he's been doing an awesome job so far. Now Caleb diving to the inside. Let's see if he can make it stick. Nick holds the outside line, give a little bit of a cushion to Caleb. And Caleb gets the position. And right behind them, the 13 goes by the 97. John,
Ooh, tight squeeze.
That 13's coming. That 13 is moving fast. He's on the rail right now.
Oh, we got a little bit loose.
Well, John, and right behind them, right behind the 97, one of those guys that got involved into that wreck. But again, doesn't seem to be. Oh, the 48 of Ron Miller, he goes around. He's in the infield. Doesn't seem that he hit anything. Doesn't seem that he had a problem.
Hopefully he can get that car going before he brings out the caution.
Yeah, now we have the 13 moving by the 25. Let's see if he can make it stick. Nick holding his line, doing a fine job coming out of the turn. And he keeps the position.
Oh, but now you got 97 coming up on the 13.
This is getting good, John. This final of this race, these final 33, 34 laps, they're going to be awesome. The 13 again trying to go by the 25. Let's see if now he can make it stick. Again, the 25 holding his line on the outside. He might have the better coming out of the turn. Now the 13 keeps it side by side. He's probably going to have the inside lane. Let's see if he can make it stick. What a battle. What a battle between these two cars.
Oh, that was really close coming off.
Let's go to the air to our chopper cam, because this is too close. We got to see this very, very close, very tight racing. Oh, Nick gets a little bit loose. And he loses the position to the 13 and the 97. But what a battle between those two guys, running side by side for 2-3 laps straight. Awesome job by all those guys. Amazing, amazing run.
And he's not too far back. He might be able to make the time up in the laps they got. It's going to be. He's going to have to get on it though.
And up front we have John Schweiker. He's leading the field, but John Anthony on the 87, even with damage on that outside wall, he's been keeping that one close. So right now they have about a second and a half in front of Ken Worley in the 37, but Anthony's not letting the number one of John Schweiker get away.
He might be just trying to keep up with him, trying to keep him there, make sure he doesn't wear out his stuff, let the one wear out his stuff, because the one's going to drive a little bit harder knowing that Anthony's behind him. So, could play into Anthony's hands.
Yeah, we'll see. they've been the class of the field right up until this point, even though they had a couple, I'm going to say, problems here and there. But they have been two of the fastest cars that we had tonight here. Hopefully, they're going to be there battling toward the end. I know the last night in the Xfinity Series, Anthony, together with John and Stephen Hollinsworth on the 15, all three drivers were battling for the lead. So they had a great 35-40 lap race at the end of the race. That was really, really entertaining. A very hard-fought battle. A lot of give and take. A lot of side-by-side. That was awesome. So apparently we're going to have the same thing here unless a caution comes out. And then God knows what's going to happen.
Right now, if I am the one car, I'm hoping for a caution.
Yeah, we got to point that out. He's on older tires, so he's been able to keep Anthony at bay, but he has older tires for 10, 15 laps than these other guys. So if this thing goes green, another 25 laps, maybe we'll see if tire management is going to become an issue. So yeah, we got to give a shout out to Ken Worley, making his first start of the year in the Cup Series, and he is now in third place. Very clean car. I don't think he got into the wall or got in trouble with any of the other drivers. So a very solid first drive for Ken. Pretty sure Mark Figueroa, his team owner, is going to be very proud at the end of the race. And John, looks who's in fifth place. That 13 car that he just won't go away. He spun out, he hit the wall, he got caught, we believe speeding, went all the way to the back, got loose, thought he was way back, and he's now in fifth place. And man, if there's a caution, I don't want this number 13 behind me because I know he's coming.
Oh, he's coming. I was just looking at lap times. He's running some of the fastest laps on the track.
Yeah, that's just go to prove that he had a very good setup from the start. So, awesome run by Brian. We made a joke with his last name, so I'm going to do it again. Just so guys that bet on how many times we were going to mention his last name. Brian Wilderson. But for us here at ECR, we now very affectionately are calling Brian the Walt Asian, even though he's not Asian. But just a little joke, just to keep the humor going. So Brian, awesome run, bud. Keep it up. Hopefully, we're going to be talking a lot more about you on the end. So, oh, right behind them, we got a contact between the 45 and the 73. Kevin Cook and Sean Medlin getting together, coming out of turn 2. I think they just ran out of space.
That's never fun to run out of space.
Yeah, I think Sean just had a lot of momentum coming out of the turn, and he got a little too close to Kevin, and Kevin was coming out of the turn, just trying to make his car turn so he would position himself to go forward straight in a straight line, and they just got together. Now Sean moving to the inside of the 45, and I think he's going to clear him. Yes, he's already dead. So Sean Medlin moving to the 7th spot. And our driver in the 25, Nick Olson, he's holding on strong in the top 10. He's now in 9th, still following along those old tires. He might not have that brute speed, but he's moving fast, keeping up in the top 10. He has Justin Bland behind him and Mark Figueroa in 11. So he's right in the mix. If there's another caution, he might cycle through together with everybody, and he might be there in contention for the top 5.
Well, that's something I didn't expect to see happen. Brian actually just got passed.
Yeah, the 97 of Stephen Massey just went by Brian in the 13, so we don't know. We couldn't tell if anything happened, if he just got loose, if the tires are starting to wear off. I know that we have 18 laps to go, John, and time is running out, so if you want to make your move, if you're following, I'm going to focus on this lead because Anthony Titchener just won't go away. He's right behind the number 1 of John Schweiker, following along with 17 laps to go. How do you think those tires in the number 1 are behaving right now, John?
Well, he's probably having to be a little bit more cautious with his throttle control. I mean, I know he's got to be very loose. I mean, you can tell he's driving a lot easier, but he's also got a lot of speed in the car, which is good. The 87, I just saw the 87 get loose, so 87 is trying his hardest to catch him. It's just going to be all-out battle towards the end because the 87 is closing in.
Yeah, we're going inside the number 1 of John Schweiker. We can see that he's really being careful coming into the turns so he doesn't spin out the back of the car. He's letting it roll a lot through the middle of the turn and really taking his time to get back into the throttle, making sure that he has enough grip to come out of the turns and powers through the straight. And right behind him, you can see Anthony really closing in. Anthony's actually running a little bit of a lower line than the 1. I think he's trying to cut those turns as much as he can, trying to get as much ground as he can. And he's getting closer. I'm not going to say a lot, but I think here, there, every turn he's gaining just a little bit.
The 1 pulled away a little bit on that straightaway.
Yeah, these guys are running awesome laps. They're doing an awesome job because keeping these cars going after 25, 30 laps with this temperature is not easy. Not easy at all. These guys are doing one hell of a job just keeping these cars in the track.
I think we're going to have a green flag. I think it's going to go all the way green, honestly.
Yeah, we have 13 laps to go. Caleb Thomas just went by Ken Worley, so Caleb's back in the 3rd place.
And I had to open my mouth.
Caution is out.
Now what do you do?
Yeah, and that changes everything. Well, let's assess car by car, all right? The 1 has been out. We have 12 to go. Honestly, John, if it's me, I'm staying out. I'm not pitting. There's no way I'm going to risk losing positions on the pit stop, even if the guys behind me pit. So I'm staying out. I'm protecting my lead, or I'm taking 2 tires, which I think that what he might do. And if I'm the 87, I'm doing the opposite of what the 1's doing. There you go.
There we go. We have a race, boys.
I called it right at the right moment. Everybody coming in. The 87 of Anthony moving to the front. He's going to be your new leader.
If I'm another driver, I haven't been up there. I haven't got up there. I have a fast car, like the 13. I'm taking 2 tires.
Yeah, I think a lot of the guys are going to take 2 tires. The 1 we can see that he takes 4. The 97 comes out. I think he took 2 tires. There you go, the 13. I think he took 2 tires as well.
I expect chaos on this restart, to be honest with you.
Well, we have 11 laps to go now. They don't have a choice. So this is go time. Unless we have a caution, and we have to remind everybody that ECR doesn't have green and white checkers. So if we do have a caution with 5 to go, the race is over. So this is probably going to be a 5-lap run. Everybody getting as much as they can. This is going to be wild. Very wild. I'm in the edge of my seat, John. I don't know you, but man, I cannot blink right now. I cannot wait for this restart. This is going to be one awesome moment of the season. One of those classic restarts where everybody's going to be going flat out, doing everything that they can to go by this 87.
Oh yeah, I mean, what else can you do? You got new tires versus old tires, 2 tires, 4 tires, no tires. There's millions of ways this could end. 87's got a fast car. The 13 has a fast car, and look where he is. I mean, this is gonna be one hell of a restart.
Yeah, you have. Let's reassess everything. Anthony Tichenor is our leader. 87 car. He stayed out. He's on old tires. The 97 of Stephen Massey, right behind him, and the 13 of Brian Wilderson. From what we could tell, they took 2 tires. So at least 50% of those tires are pretty worn. And apparently restarting right behind Anthony, the first guy that took 4 tires, John Schweiker, on the number 1. That is the one thing, if I'm Anthony, I don't know if I would do if I would restart on the outside, because if he would restart on the inside, he would have Stephen Mass in front of that one car, causing a jam, not giving that one car a clean restart, because he's going to go right behind Anthony. So he might take that 13 and that 97 just by following the leader when he jumps, and that might not be what Anthony would want. So, but he makes the call. He chose the outside. John, buckle up, boy, because we're going green with 9 to go. Here we go. The pace car is in. Anthony Tichenor, he brings the field. He spins the tires a little bit. Oh, the 97 got a great jump on the inside. Oh, they touched.
He saves it.
Wow, the 97 is your leader, followed by the 13 and the 1. The 37 of Ken Worley. Sean Medley in the 7 and 3. Now look at the run that the 13 and the 1 get on the 97 coming out of turn 2. Brian gets loose. He and the 1 go side by side. Schweiker diving in the inside of the 97, trying to hold the line. Let's see if he can hold him. Oh, the 13 gets loose.
Oh, moment.
Here comes the 73.
I can't breathe.
Now the 1 gets a turn. He's on the inside. He's halfway through. Let's see if he can make it stick. And we got a caution. Something happened in the back of the pack. Oh, the 65 got into the 83, the quarter panel. He collected everybody that was coming behind. The 00, the 14. Everybody got together. What a tough break for those guys. Whew. All right, John. I don't know if this race is going to be official.
I don't either.
Because we have 145 completed laps. They already went around under yellow for at least 1 lap. I think this is the second one. I think we're going to have a 2-lap shootout for the win.
I mean, that 1 car was coming. Even with the rear damage he has, he's still coming.
Well, he has fresher tires than the 97. And from what we've seen during the race, he has he probably has the fastest car of the day so far. He led, I think, most laps. But he couldn't clear the 97. The 97 was ahead when caution came out, and that's what he counts. So
If it does go green, I have to say this. My money's on that 97.
yeah, because we have to remember that he controls the restart. So he can dictate when he's going to jump. He can tell what he's going to do. So that might be the deciding factor. Just that split second that he might get that jump, being able to get to the turn, get a little bit of a breather. We'll see. Let's see. First, we need to verify that this thing's going to go green. We need to see if race controller is going to allow us to go green if we have enough laps, which I think we do. I think we have 2 to 3 laps yet of racing. I think this is going to be 2 to go, and we're going to have at least 2 laps to decide who's going to be the winner of this very chaotic, very competitive, great racing here in New Hampshire. All
Another
right,
thing I'm looking at.
go. I'm sorry, John. Go for it.
It's fine. Another thing I'm looking at is 3rd place. 13th still there.
Yeah, I don't know. If I'm a gambling guy, I don't know who I put my money in, because from what we've seen, these guys up front, they might just take each other out with the move. We know that Stephen Massey, he's very aggressive. We know that John has a really fast car. We know that Brian has a really fast car. This race might fall to Ken Worley in 4th, to Sean Medley in 5th. And don't count out the 87. He's in 6th. After that contact that they got together, I don't want to be in front of the 87 because I know he's going to be coming like a possessed man. And we're going to go green, guys. We're going to have 2 laps, race controlling, giving us 2 final laps. All right, John, I'm going to put you in the spot. You have $1 million. Who do you put your money on?
97.
There you go. I don't know, man. I don't know.
But I would like to say that.
You know what? I'm going to put my money in that 13 car. I think something might happen, and I don't want to jinx anybody, but I'm going with the Wild Asian. I'm going with Brian Wilderson in the 13. I think he might pull this one off. We're going to soon find out with, I think we have 2 to go at the line. Stephen Massey on the outside. He's our leader. He's going to bring the field back under green. John, hold your horses. We're going green. He gets a nice jump. Remember, he cannot change lanes. Here we go.
A little bit more.
The inside. The one moving to the inside. Oh, he's going to clear him. Oh. He's still fighting. He's still there. The 97 still fighting for the position. Not yet clear. Oh, he touched the wall.
Well,
And John Schweikert is around. Let's see if Steven is going to try something in this final lap. Oh, and he gets around. The 37 is going to go by him. Oh, the 37 gets loose. Oh, no, what a break. And John, I think John Schweikert, the number 1, he's going to be your winner. Coming out of turn 4. John Schweikert takes the flag. He's your winner here in New Hampshire. What a finish. Wow. What a finish. John Schweikert gets his 2nd win of the year. The 97 of Stephen Massey, he finishes 2nd. Brian Wilderson finishing 3rd. Sean Medling finishing 4th. Anthony Tishner holding up in 5th. He's going to be your 5th place finisher. I'm sure he's disappointed. Well, John, we're going to have the opportunity to talk to these guys, to talk to the winners, to talk to the third place finisher, to the second place finisher.
I can't wrap my head around that.
Yeah, that was a very, very, very aggressive restart. But hey, that's racing. They did what they could, and the number one, he gets the win. Let me just see when these guys are available for us to interview them. Let me just send a message really quickly. Well, John, while we wait for these guys to finish up, ECR always do a post-race meeting. So I'm pretty sure with the contacts in the restarts, a lot of cautions, probably these guys are not going to be that happy. So they might be talking for a while. So until they figured everything out, until we have our guys clear.
Hey, wake up.
All right. Our third place driver just asked us for one moment. He needs to rehydrate, get himself together. So just like us, let's go through the unofficial results. John Schweiker, the number one, he comes home out of that frenetic restart in first place. Stephen Massey in second. Brian Wilderson in third. Sean Medley fourth. Anthony Titchener fifth. AJ Scarborough sixth. Will Prue holding up in seventh place. Nick Olsen finishing up in 10th in the top 10. Mark Figueroa in 9th. Matthew Hibbs in 10th. Matt Moritz finishing up 11. Ken Worley 12. Kevin Cook 13. Caleb Thomas 14. Justin Bland 15. Joshua Wallace 16th. Chuck Harrell 17th. Rob Burns, Douglas Hess, Ron Miller, Michael Kinner, Matthew Tunhorst, Stephen Hollinsworth, Jeremy Rubin, and David Grosclose. Those are our drivers who started the race. Whew. John, this has been a wild race, man.
Hey, wake up.
Well, before we go into your final thoughts, let me just bring our third place finisher, Brian Wilderson, to the booth.
User was moved to your channel.
Hey, Brian, Louise in the broadcast booth. We got a copy, buddy?
Hey, Luis.
Brother, what a race, man. What a race. We were up here holding our breath, me and John. We were going crazy in this final restarts. Guide us through what was going on through your mind in this final laps. This chaotic, frenetic restart. Did you think you had a shot of going to the front, or you were waiting for the guys who were in front of you to get together to see if that win was going to fall to you?
I definitely had a shot at it. I mean, you could tell anything could have happened there. There was cars sliding all over the track, and you just had to wait and see which line was going to go or who was going to make that mistake. And it was just a crazy battle at the end of that race.
Yeah, you stayed out right after the first caution. You took the lead on older tires, and you were able to hold the 87 into one at a time pretty well. Was that design, you wanted to do that right at the beginning of the race to see what your car is going to do on older tires, or it was just I want to get track position, I want to be up front because I don't want to be in this mess if anything happened?
Well, it was both. I knew from our practice race earlier in the week that two tires it felt all right. You could run pretty well with them, so I went ahead and made that call early to get out front and was able to do pretty good against Anthony and held him off for the lead. And, I was able to use that same strategy towards the end of the race. We had about 10 laps to go, so I went ahead and took two tires to gain a couple spots. And I knew they were going to hold up for me.
10-4, but well, we called your name a lot during the broadcast. You're going to be hearing your name the right way and the way that we made fun of. So we Well, I had my money on you on the restart you're going to listen to after in the broadcast. So, third place finish. Awesome drive. Awesome. You went back and forth, fell to the back, moved your way back to the front, spun out, made your way back again. Awesome racing, but congratulations in the third place finish. Awesome drive, buddy.
Hey, I'll take it. Thank you, Luis.
Damn for it, bud.
User was moved out of your channel.
Well, John, let's see if we can bring down Stephen Massey, our second place finisher. Let me see if I can find him here. We're going to wait a little bit to talk to him because, like we said, he is on a separate channel with one of our admins, probably talking about that contact that he and the 87 had during that second to last restart. John, I go back to you. Give me your thoughts on the race from the beginning, the number of cautions, the racing, if it was like you thought it was going to happen, or if anything in this race surprised you. Give your thoughts about how our boys did tonight.
Well, the start of the race, it was pretty much how we expected it. They were going, but they didn't take too much. The cautions, well, we expect there's going to be cautions. It's racing. It was 150 laps. New Hampshire. I expected there to be a lot of cautions, but there wasn't as many as I thought there would be. But during the middle of the race, you can see everybody was spread out. I mean, kind of how you expect over a long run. When we get those long runs, you see everybody spread out a little bit. Everything was calm, but kind of how you expect it to be. Towards the end, I was really shocked because when it got down to the 40 to go, and those cautions started flying, because cautions breed cautions. I mean, they were getting on it. There was no give or take. It was just, I'm going to get you. I'm going to pass you. I don't care what I have to do, is what it kind of felt like. And I thought it was great racing throughout the whole race. I mean, you can't ask for better racing like we had tonight.
Yeah.
The end was, wow. I mean, I was sitting here holding my breath for him.
Well, the end was what we thought it was going to be. We called it right in the middle of that very long green flag run, the last one that we had before the final two cautions. We said it. If a caution comes out, God help us, because they're going to be as aggressive as they can. They're going to be driving their asses off. Apologize for the language, but that's just it. And I'm not surprised that there were contact, that guys got together in the restart, because, like you said it, they got to go, and they got to go now. There's no room. There's not enough time. They had 12 laps at that time to get whatever position they could. Unfortunately, happened to the two drivers that were in front, and the leader at the time, he got the worst of it. That was Anthony. He finished up in fifth. But I don't know if surprised you, but from what we saw even yesterday on our restarts, that we thought people were going to get together, and unfortunately, it happened to one of the guys that were leading a lot of the race, a lot of the laps. So the way that the guys behaved at those final two restarts, especially, did that surprise you? Do you thought they were going to be a little bit more conservative, or do you thought they were going to be even more aggressive, and you got surprised that no one actually spun out and really caused a caution, just a little bit of contact, spreading out, losing a couple positions? What did you surprise the most in that case?
Well, it really surprised me that they weren't as aggressive as I thought they were going to be, honestly, because I thought, hey, it's 2 to go. I mean, what are we going to do? We're going to sit here? But no, they didn't sit there. They got at it. But I expected there to be a huge wreck. I mean, they should have been. I mean, they could have been up there rubbing on each other. I mean, getting all they could get. They were a little bit more calm than I thought they were going to be honest.
Yeah, well, let's do one thing before we bring Stephen Massey. He's still talking to our race controller after the race. Let's bring down our winner, John Schweiker. Let's change a little bit the order here.
User was moved to your channel.
Hey, John, Luis in the broadcast booth. Got a copy, buddy?
I got you loud and clear.
Hell yeah, but well, you said it in the beginning of the race. I want to be interviewed by you at the end of the race. Boy, you got it. What an awesome race, John. Congratulations, buddy, and another win here at ECR.
Yeah, that's not an easy task. So I'm definitely going to soak this one up. I'm going to really enjoy it. Last time in the Cup Series, I believe my win was at Daytona, which, it is a little bit setup based, but, it's also a little bit driver. But you also have to have somebody pushing you. So, it boils down to luck. Tonight was just, it's a little bit more of a driver and setup as well. But man, it's so much better to be able to win on a track that you can actually, showcase a little bit more talent than Daytona.
Well, and you had a pretty fast car the entire night. We saw it. You started up front together with our pole setter and everything. Was running top 3 all night together with Anthony, together with Caleb. Had a pretty tough, a couple of pit stops. Maintained the lead. But in this final, the second to last pit stop, you stayed out when everybody else came in. Did you thought at that time, oh boy, I'm in trouble? Or you thought based on everything that you've seen during the race with Brian staying out and being able to hold on, with Caleb staying out and being able to run fine, that you thought, well, you know what, even though I'm on older tires, I don't think I'm going to be in such a problem. What was going through your mind at that point?
I really thought I'd be okay. And the only reason why is because I was running such low tire pressures, and this setup was just really, really good. I felt a little snug for the first 5 or 6 laps, but after I got a little bit wore off, I mean, it cut the center and powered off so hard that it was a lot of fun to drive, a lot of discipline on throttle, but really, really good. And early in the race, all week, I heard how fast Anthony was, and I'm like, ooh, okay. And I didn't want to get in there and run because I knew what I had, and I really didn't feel like showcasing it, and I didn't know if I would be as good as him. And when I took those 2 tires early in the race and was able to hold them off, I'm like, wow, this thing's really, really good. And I kind of kicked myself in the butt when I didn't pit there, but it just worked out. And then, of course, the end, I was a little nervous because that was wild.
Yeah, I was going to ask the exact opposite, because in the final cautions, you pitted, he stayed out. At that point, the reverse happens, that, oh my God, what have I done? I'm not going to be able to pass these guys. Or that mindset of, you know what, I'm going to go like crazy no matter what happens, kicked in, and you just did everything that you could to go. Was that thought of, oh my God, did I pick the right strategy? That second guessing came in, or you just said, you know what, I'm good, I got this, I'm going to go back to the front?
No, when Anthony stayed out and I pitted, because I had such low tire pressures, I'm like, oh man, that's it. Not going to have a chance because he's going to be able to hold me off. I'd have to roll the bottom, which is really hard, downshift into 3 and get that run off. I was kind of confident I'd get back past Massey, but, like I said, Anthony was so fast, and, he was really good, showcased it last night, showcased it again tonight, and I'm like, man, that's going to be a tough battle. And when they got together, I just stayed on the bottom and tried to roll it as fast as I could.
Well, you did an awesome job. You were the pick of my broadcasting partner, John Cuddle. He picked you to be one of the winners tonight. Not going to lie, in the restart, he thought you were not going to be able to pass by the 97, but we all knew that it was one of those things depending on what happens in the turn. And he got a little bit off the groove. You were able to power by and got the win. So congratulations again. Hopefully we can get another one in Indianapolis. I don't know. How do you feel about Indianapolis? A completely different track. Have you ever driven there in a Gen 6 before? Is it going to be your first time?
No, I've raced there several times through the NIS series and A Opens and stuff. I love the track. It's a lot of fun, but I'm learning this, and I think I said it last week. You cannot count anybody out here. They just pit strategy is everything. I mean, we saw tonight again that different pit strategies, people staying out 2 tires, this and that. You just have no idea who's going to win until that checker flag's out and that car crosses the line.
Well, this time you draw the lucky number, buddy. Congratulations again. It was a lot of fun broadcasting this race. Awesome driving. Awesome finish. Congratulations again. Our winner tonight, ECR Championship Racing Series here in New Hampshire, the number 1, John Schweiker. Congratulations, buddy.
Hey, thank you, Luis. I just want to thank all the guys that I hang out with. We put a good setup together, and I enjoy going back, watch your broadcast, and thank the admin, man.
10-4, but we appreciate you guys running, and we'll see each other next week in Indy.
All right, see you, brother.
See ya.
User was moved
That was our winner, John Schweiker, in the number 1. Very happy. And John, you heard it from the horse's mouth. That final restart, we were holding our breath here, not knowing what was going to happen. But you could tell by the 13, by the number 1, they had no clue what was going to happen inside of those cars. They were just as apprehensive as we were back here in the booth.
Oh yeah, I mean, woo! That would I still can't put that restart into words.
Well, it was probably one of the best restarts we had this year. We knew this was going to be crazy, but it is what it is. It happened. So let's change gears. Next week, we go to Indianapolis, both for the Xfinity cars and the Cup cars. You're going to be driving the Xfinity. You've driven there before. You said it's one of your favorite tracks. What can we expect next week in Indianapolis? Completely different track, completely different way of driving it. Give us a little bit of a driver's perspective of what these guys are going to be facing in Indianapolis next week.
Well, I'm also going to be racing. I'm actually trying to work out because I'm fixing to have my B class. So I might be racing in the Cup with y'all, but really, Indy is you can draft on straightaways a little bit, so you got to counter that. But also that when you go into the turns, it's 90 degrees. So you have to have that car planted. You have to be able to get off the corner. You have to be able to, it's going to be way different than this week. It's going to be less passing, I think, because it's a lot harder to pass there. You actually have to get under somebody on the straightaway. Or if you force the issue in a turn, you will really cause a big issue because, I mean, they're going to try and run the low line. You're going to try and run the low line. You're just going to get together. But it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be intense racing. May not be as much passing as we have seen in a few races, but it's going to be kind of a mix between, let's say, Daytona and hard to pin another track on it.
I heard that driving in Indianapolis is pretty similar to driving in Pocono, depending on your take on it. Very long straights, followed by a 90-degree turn at the end of a very long straight. That you need to have that car planted on the ground, like you said, and being able to rotate to the turn, but power the gas midway through and don't look back because you need that drive off the turn. That if you can get the car to do that, especially that turn 2 in Pocono is very similar to the turns in Indianapolis. I've never driven the Xfinity and the Cup car. There's going to be my first time, so we'll see what's going to happen. So, but that's what they told me. That it sounds familiar. That's a pretty good comparison.
Yeah, it's a very good comparison. Actually, I think if I do recall, and don't hold me to this because I am very forgetful, but Pocono, one of the turns at Pocono is modeled after.
Well, there you go. So
that's very similar.
There you go. So hopefully these guys, they're going to have the entire week to work on their setups for the Elite Championship Racing Cup that we run every Tuesday night, like you guys were seeing, at 9:30. It's open setups. Monday nights, we race the Xfinity Series fixed setups, both at Indianapolis. We still going to have tomorrow night at 9:30 our Truck Series Championship heading into their third week, and they're going to be driving in a miniature of New Hampshire. They're going to be driving in the paperclip at Martinsville. That's going to be another crazy race, side by side, a lot of touching, a lot of door to door. And I don't know, tomorrow we cannot predict the winner. I think whoever's standing at the end might have a shot. So I don't know. Are you racing tomorrow, John?
I'm still debating on it. I mean, I might. Still have to take my driver's test.
Well, if you are, I wish you the best of luck. We're not sure if we're going to be broadcasting tomorrow or not. So if you're driving, awesome drive. If we're broadcasting, I'll let you know. We might be back here in the booth doing another one of these. But I'd like to thank you for joining me here tonight. I had a blast. Awesome commentary, a lot of good perspective from a driver. And I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. Any final thoughts before we wrap this thing up and get back to talk to the other drivers?
No, I mean, I really enjoyed sitting up here in the booth with you. It was a great perspective to see everybody else. I mean, but I like to see, I love doing this. This was really fun experience. I'm definitely going to come back and do it every time I get the chance. I mean, it was an awesome race. Hopefully we can see more racing like that. I mean, that's what racing's all about. I mean, you're going to get together, you're going to touch, going to be a few cautions, but hey, at the end, next week we're still all friends going back to the same place.
Hell yeah, that's what it's all about. So we live to race another weekend. So like I told everybody else that joined us in the booth this season, you do it once, you got your membership card forever. So you're always welcome to come back, join us again, even as an in-car, in-race commentary that we might do it in the next couple of ones that we're broadcasting. So I would like to thank you for the time, for the perspective. And with that, I say goodbye to everybody. My name is Luis Almazo. This has been a pleasure broadcasting this race for you guys. And I hope to see you all next time in one of our next races for ECR Elite Championship Racing. With that, good night, everybody. Awesome weekend, awesome week. Have fun, stay safe, make love, not war. Have fun. We'll see each other next time.